Also with Flickr, Katerina's partner. This is from Mr. Neal. You're playing the provocateur at the beginning of the panel, so I'm going to turn that back at you a little bit. Certainly from Flickr's perspective and the perspective of most of the companies that were identified as Web 2.0 early on, that was never part of our marketing. That's not part of our sales pitch. This isn't a buzz phrase that we created. This is a buzz phrase that you, maybe not you individually, created. I mean, this is something that, for lack of a better term, some lazy journalism, some shrewd business editing.
Actually, Tim O'Reilly, I think, who first coined the phrase.
Yeah, Tim O'Reilly coined the phrase, but the popularity, I mean, the reason that we have the Web 2.0 session in the biggest room available here at Davos is certainly it being on the cover of magazines. And we were featured in a cover story. And
make it brief, please.
All right, sure. I'm going to say this phenomenon has been driven by facile journalism, I'd say at least, because there's a lot of things that we could say are popular websites now, and it's easier to identify those as a trend to say group a bunch of disparate things as Web 2.0. I'm curious about your perspective on that.
I entirely agree with you. Look, we love to blame the media because they make this happen, they make that happen, and you guys forget, we don't print the truth, we print what people tell us. We're writing about Web 2.0 because all you guys are talking about Web 2.0. And it turns out, if we really want to exist, which, let's face it, media exists to sell advertising just like Google does, we got to write something to bring your eyes to the page, and we're interviewing people and we're writing what they're saying. So I'm not feeling any terrible moral burden about having hyped Web 2.0, but thank you.
Mark, I'm going to give you the last word before we break. I remember when I got my first pair of Nikes, and the world changed for me. I can remember what it was like in old sneakers, and I remember when I got my swoosh. And Nike changed the world of sports and for amateurs all over the world. All the rich people, all the professionals had great shoes, but the rest of us didn't. Is Web 2.0 going to transform Nike?
I think it is. I think it's not just Nike, but hopefully other companies, organizations, NGOs, whatever, around the world. I mean, I think if you don't embrace this movement, this change, this access, this empowerment for consumers, I think you're at risk. And potentially, and this is not an overstatement, I think it's deadly. So I think it's important for you to not only understand what this means, but how to actually make it work for you and make it work for those who you are there to serve. So that's important.
Well, I think that's a great place to end on. I must say I do think this is something quite fundamental. I think we are going through a revolution from the bottom up. I think this is about empowerment. This is about a big power shift. It's a power shift from large and central to small and distributed, but it's a new way of connecting the big and the central to the small and distributed. It will, I think, represent a huge challenge for companies like Nike and a number of others who have had that power for a long time. And Chad and Katerina and others are putting power in lots of other people's hands. And this is going to be an interesting and dynamic game, I think, for some time to come. Lots of money to be made, lots of money to be lost, but in fact the power really is shifting. Thank you all. Look forward to seeing you. I think we have Prime Minister 3.0 here next.